What's going on, guys? This is Carl with the Racerred channel. This is the mighty 2008 Yamaha YZF-R1. The 2008 R1 is essentially the same as the 2007 model. They have the updated Deltabox V frame. They also have fly-by-wire throttle control and the updated 4-valve per cylinder engine, which is a design that they had used before, but they went back to it. Dual undertail exhaust, two brothers, black carbon fiber exhaust on there. I think this bike is the sexiest bike ever created. Just my opinion. It also has a little bit updated styling with the air intake up front, a little bit more reminiscent of the MotoGP bike. The frame geometry is not really made for comfort so much as it is made for performance. When you get on the throttle, it's got so much power, but you feel all of that power going straight to the pavement. Let's check the top speed in first gear. On older bikes that didn't work very well, it would have floppy suspension. Suspension would go backwards and squat in the back, therefore lifting the front end up. This bike doesn't do that. This bike would be very hard to wheelie for that reason. All the power will stick to the pavement and rocket you forward. This is my favorite motorcycle or street bike of all time. The first generation of bikes from '04 to meet the 1-to-1 power to weight ratio, and overall just an amazing experience to ride this thing. I've noticed that a lot of people have gone to the Corbin seat. On my 2004 model that I used to have, I went to a Corbin seat. The reason for that is the stock seat has kind of an angle to it that isn't good for body geometry. It's not rounded, and the Corbin seat has a nice rounded feel to it, so it's not going to hurt your inner thigh for those longer rides. This Yamaha R1 is chain driven. It's got a 6-speed transmission, and it does 100 miles per hour in first gear pretty much universally across the board from 2004 to 2008. All of them will do 100 miles per hour in first gear. I really love how the headlight looks, and the frame geometry feels really good to me. When I'm going through corners, I feel like I'm just on a rail. You look on Marketplace and they're all 20,000+ miles, wrecked on one side, got some kind of issue with it. People use and abuse them because they do make so much horsepower. They do attract a certain crowd, and not all of those people are going to be a motorcycle enthusiast and treat the bike well and treat it for longevity. One of the beauties of riding this bike is you get the sense that everything is overbuilt, and so that when you need to use that performance, it is there for you to use. Sometimes that can be a great safety feature. If you need to accelerate out of the way, you can certainly do that. If you need brakes that will stop you on a dime, this bike definitely has that as well. So everything here is designed to go extremely fast, but also to stop you extremely fast. The rev limiter certainly does work. I felt the rev limiter kick in, and it definitely shut down. You're supposed to be shifting at that point, so it was definitely limiting me to 100 miles an hour in first gear. The reason it does that is to prevent engine damage. This model does come with a steering dampener stock to standard, which is a beautiful thing. That way you don't ever get that head shake, death wobble. You don't want that at high speed. The dual undertail exhaust, I think, looks amazing. Aesthetically, it is beautiful. The street bikes that I really think look the best have that dual undertail exhaust. However, it does pose a problem with heat. The seat does get a little bit warm. I would probably recommend on most of these to pull the seat off and put some reflective tape on the bottom, which I have done before, and it does help. This has dual disc brakes up front, one disc brake in the rear. Everything is hydraulic in terms of the brakes. It has a cabled clutch, has a flat plane engine. The cross plane doesn't come until 2009. It has a mechanical tachometer, a digital speedometer, easy to use controls with a gloved hand. So I'm doing 65 miles an hour and this bike is just basically idling along, which is one of the beauties of a 1000cc sport bike. You're never going to hurt this engine. It rarely gets revved up. If you rev this thing up, you're doing a minimum of 100 miles per hour. I own the 2012 and I can verify that those models feel much heavier, but there is a payoff for everything. And one of those payoffs is that the 2009 through 14 models have massive amounts of torque compared to this bike. These bikes are a dying breed. When it comes down to it, you're not going to find one in good condition for very long. And to me, I view it as something similar to like an old muscle car or a classic car or just a sports car in general. I take care of the paint the best that I can, take care of the cowlings, take care of the aesthetics. And I plan to do a little bit of work to this bike to make it better and better. Be sure to hit me up with any questions and I might be able to answer them. Anyways, I appreciate you watching the video and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.